Welcome to a Manor Lords update and the analysis of the most up-to-date game material. But the most important thing first, Manor Lords was postponed to April 26, 2024, but then also appears in the Xbox Game Pass.
Will you prove yourself worthy of this honor, or will you perish by the traitor's steel?
In addition, however, there was new footage from the one-man developer. And after we were able to play Manor Lords ourselves in an early alpha, we had our own insights into the game. Manor Lords will be an exciting mixture of different games and genres. So to speak, a Total War Anno Mount and Blade Settlers. But in the first place, it's a medieval setting construction strategy game, where not only the optics be despised as historically correct as possible, but also the feeling of the game. So we should get to know an organic and restless urban construction, with full placement and freedom of rotation. And the developer emphasizes that the building mechanics were inspired by the growth of real cities and villages, and that the landscape should be shaped with great trade routes and challenges. But the warfare should also be displayed in a medieval way, because we will inevitably experience our people should not just be exchangeable, but our villagers, who then go for battle for us, where loss really hurts us here. But also in the area of trade and commodity circulation, everything should be available, from to barley and honey to fur. We have to transport materials, pull up various production chains and process finished products. Of course, technological progress and political interests are also play a role in this. And of course, the construction part was first in focus with the first possibilities. This was already going well and gave a rather realistic construction experience. So no goods are magically transported from A to B, but our settlers and our ox carts have to work hard. But let's take a look at the combat system, because a lot has happened here too. And above all, players of the Total War series will feel at home here. Because here we have discovered some parallels in the area of combat. So we can form different formations, select attack patterns, and of course place our archers behind first lines. But the more exciting part is that we build our troops, so our villages. We really dress them up, arm them and equip them, and are responsible for how powerful our troops are in the end. But also tactical and strategic aspects should play a role, such as height advantages or others such as hiding troops in suitable terrain. And after all these elements interlock, the true cycle of the construction of a small village and ultimately the construction of a huge army, up to become a king. So Manor Lords promises a very interesting mixture. And we were definitely impressed by the possibilities and the current look during the first sessions. Because behind Manor Lords there is only a single solo developer. And for that, the already shown and already experienced is quite remarkable. And we are glad that we can also play what we got to see as a preview. Because, quite openly, it was stated as a reason for the shift that there is still a lot of do in polishing and bug fixing. And Manor Lords only then starts in the early access on April 26, 2024. And among other things, the dynamic weather and seasonal changes were particularly exciting. Whereby we really have to prepare for it in winter, because here the production of goods goes up rails. And even when watching, when our settlers trample through muddy terrain and tremble in the cold, we were glad not to have this experience, this scenery up close. The construction part of Manor Lords is designed in a classic way, because here we pull up different goods circuits and production chains to create the conditions for options. But always in view of the different seasons, because growth is much more difficult in winter. There were already a lot to see in the field of diplomacy, because with this we not only have the opportunity to deal with our direct neighbors, but also honor our influence to the adoption of opposing areas. But the military part was not yet directly playable. This remains to be seen, to what extent Manor Lords can compete with titles like Total War or Simula. The scaling of different villages to cities and increasingly strong areas with accordingly more promises, a lot of excitement here. We are definitely looking forward to the first rounds in Manor Lords. And of course, we will keep you up to date. And with some impressions from the different gameplay areas of the latest playable versions, I'll leave you alone and say goodbye. Until next time. See you soon and thanks for watching.
Merchants will travel more frequently to towns that have rare and more affordable goods. These merchants are the only way to get wealth in the game. Lord's treasury, however, is split from the regional wealth. As the lord or lady, you must tax your towns and villages in order to get money for your personal endeavours. There are different taxes giving various benefits. For example, the tithe goes straight to the church, but in return, the church gives you influence. Every so often, the king gives out valuable rewards to the most influential lords on the map, including new territories. You can compliment or insult other lords via the diplomacy system to affect their influence. The recruitment system in Manor Lords has been redesigned after some community feedback. It is now divided into 3 unit categories. First type of recruits are the peasant militia. You can call to arms the peasants from your villages. They grab whatever improvised weapons they have and join the fight. This will hit your economy, and you'll need at least a couple of villages to form an army. If you want better militia, you must train them at the training camp or the archery range. The second type of recruits are mercenaries. They cost silver and a lot of it. The last type is Lord's Retinue. This is a limited, heavily armoured unit that you can customise to your liking. Thank you for joining in for this short preview of Manor Lords gameplay systems. If you're interested in discussing the game, be sure to visit Manor Lords Discord and subreddit.